Declaration of Independence, the first document in American history written by people of all sorts of various backgrounds that came together as representatives of a single body of one people to declare their independence from an empire. So, in the spring of 1776, 5 men are tapped by the First Continental Congress to draft a declaration for independence from Britain and to gain the support of the French crown. These 5 men, Roger Sherman, Robert Livingston, Benjamin Franklin, John Adams, and Thomas Jefferson, were all prominent figures in the independence movement. Now, the Declaration itself can be broken into 3 different parts, which will help us to understand what it is that the document is ultimately all about. So, first up is the preamble. This is the introduction of the document everyone is most familiar with. Here, Thomas Jefferson uses phrases and ideals popularized by Enlightenment philosophers such as John Locke, Charles Louis Montesquieu, and Thomas Hobbes in order to justify the need for independence. The first paragraph is essentially him clearing up what exactly the document is all about. That is, when a point in a society's life comes about that the governed, or the people, are ruled unfavorably by the governor to the point of systemic abuse, it is thus the obligation of those who are able to do so, that is, the governed, to do something. Then he uses some philosophical ideas to explain himself. We hold these truths to be self-evident. Well, what is a truth? A truth is a fact that will not change regardless of time, place, and substance. If I drop a 5-pound rock from a 1-foot height, it will fall. Gravity is an unchangeable truth. Now, if I change that 1-foot stool to a 12-foot rooftop, it will still fall. That's because no matter how long of a time gravity exists, or that rock changes weight, it will fall if it's released. It's a truth. Self-evident, meaning glaringly obvious no matter what truth, i.e., regardless of me dropping either a rock or a stick, and even a crumpled piece of paper. The truth of gravity will take over once I drop it. That is self-evident. That all men are created equal, with the unalienable rights to pursue life, liberty, and their own pursuit of happiness. That means, as a citizen of the nation of the colonies, it is an absolute truth, just as absolute as the law of gravity, that every man, regardless of status, race, or even religion, is entitled to life and to pursue it according to their desire. That means that they aren't beholden to an outdated social hierarchy based on wealth and family, like the British placed on society. The next paragraph, he disseminates exactly why the letter is written. That in order to secure these rights within a society, the people form a government in order to secure these rights. Now, this government, regardless of its size, form, or whatever, gains its power from the consent of the governed. The operative word here is consent, meaning if we, the people of America, are the ones holding the power, then it is only by our consent that a law or a tax or even a war is created. And if the government becomes too powerful, which it attempts to usurp that power, it becomes the right and the duty of the governed to overthrow it and to instill a new one. And this new one instills safeguards for the governed to be protected for doing so. The final paragraph of the preamble is essentially Jefferson hitting King George with the uppercut. Directly, he charges the crown with the long train of abuses that has led the colonies to rebel. His justification is that because a citizen has a naturally given right to not be abused by the governor, it is now his, or the colonists' duty to overthrow the government. In other words, the kingdom messed up, Ron. The next 21 lines are referred to as a list of colonial grievances. Here, they show the receipts for exactly what they're talking about. They gave us heavy taxes without the proper consent of the colonial government. The troops policing the colonies answer to him and not to the elected government here. If you wish to learn more about these reasons, I would suggest watching our Road to the Revolution series in order to learn more about the king's misdeeds. The final paragraph, or the grand finale, if you will, is the 1-2-3 combination where Jefferson drops the mic on old King George. Here, he declares themselves, i.e., the signers of the Declaration, as representatives of the colonial states of America, not as subject of a king, but as citizens of a free and independent nation. Under British rule, the king had all authority. Now, Jefferson, Franklin, and the rest of the founders aren't just insisting that they're independent, but they're proclaiming that the colonies are a single, independent nation.